A number of logistics and production trade shows have recently taken place in Europe, at which very high potential for robot applications could also be identified. After 3 years, the doors opened at the NEC Birmingham for the International Supply Chain and Logistics Community, which met in large numbers at the IMHX 2022 exhibition. Our team looked in on the event to capture the most interesting robotic solutions for you, from appealing conventional warehouse equipment and solution suppliers to a variety of industrial robots. All were presented at this large site show in Birmingham. Our team was on the spot and could get a personal impression of it to share with you. The show featured well-known companies from the logistics and warehousing sectors with their automation solutions, in addition to the suppliers for conventional automation technology. The fair was under the star and keyword roboticization. Many young companies from the roboticization scene did not spare the effort to present their robot solutions for logistics and industry. The focus of the exhibition was on AMR, or Autonomous Mobile Robots, and it's the attribute of autonomous specifically that has come to the attention of the industry. The peculiarity of this type of robot is that they can move not only along predetermined routes, but also build their own trajectory, navigating the environment around them and avoiding obstacles. Cobots among AMRs were strongly represented. Cobots are used when the employee is also supported by the robot in their routine work and can also work safely around humans. In addition to the cobots, several other companies from the AMR sector were also on display with their goods-to-person products. Well-known Asian companies like Geek Plus or Hi Robotics presented their robot solutions, but also the French company Exotech showed a presentation with the Skypod solution. However, among the AMR suppliers, the company Auto Motors, which is known as a division of the Canadian company ClearPath Robotics, stood out as a leader. At IMHX, Auto Motors was represented by local partners EK Robotics and Guidance Automation. In the demo area of EK Robotics, one could see the Auto 100 model, which could be used for the transport of small load carriers. Using integrated cameras and scanners and sensors, it can automatically determine the shortest path to the destination. And in the event of obstacles, the vehicle does not have to stop, but finds and follows the best alternative route. The auto device can therefore easily adapt to changes in the environment or new work processes. 1 week later, the IMTS took place in Chicago. Auto Motors also had its own booth at the IMTS Production Trade Fair in Chicago, where it was the only AMR supplier able to present its full benefits for the production of industry. The Logistech Tokyo 2022 is another one of the global biggest platforms for Japan and overseas logistics companies gathering with the latest devices, information systems, and services. Also here with Auto Motors was their partner Alltech, who did an excellent job of standing out among the crowd with numerous suppliers with the Auto 1500 AMR solution. Overall, it can be said that robotics has found its way into the industry, and we're only at the beginning of the great untapped potential for AMR in logistics and production. The Chinese robotics market is developing more than rapidly. The country has remained the world's largest consumer of industrial robots for 8 consecutive years and is increasing production of its own every year. There were many industrial and medical robots, robots for logistics, agriculture, and construction. Unfortunately, Xiaomi did not come, which recently presented its robot Manoid Cyber 1, in which we told you about in the issue, and you can find that right here in the tip. UB Tech Robotics was also absent with their Walker robot, yet even without them, the bionic and anthropomorphic robots became the magnet for the visitors to the show. One of the most striking booths was at the X Robots, which is the leader in the research and development of intelligent humanoid robots in China, and also maintains a leading position in the world for bionic skin and mass production capabilities of bionic robots. The company combined humanoid robots and meta-universe technology to create Science and Technology Museum of the Future EX. They brought humanoid robots resembling scientist Albert Einstein and Taiwanese pop singer Teresa Teng to the exhibition, as well as a sympathetic robot and a robot avatar. Our method of creating exo-robots has been around for a long time, more than 10 years. Humanoid robots are a special kind of product. The degree of complexity of their production technique is the highest because we want to make robots even more similar to humans. Why? To allow them to better integrate into our human society so they can replace humans at work. The most interesting exhibit at EX Robots was a robot avatar that replicates one of the company's employees. It uses a camera to analyze the movements and facial expressions of a living person and repeats them. Another robot, according to developers, was created to understand human emotions and respond to them accordingly. The anthropomorphic EX robots have up to 140 degrees of freedom throughout their bodies, and they're equipped with independently developed ROS operating systems. The robot's torso and limbs are controlled by dozens of flexible actuators, making their movements and facial expressions more realistic. Cloud9's Technology, a Chinese developer of humanoid service robots and facial recognition systems, brought Cloud Ginger XR1, which entertained the visitors of the exhibition with its dancing. The robot can move smoothly thanks to 34 smart flexible joints in the neck, shoulders, elbows, wrists, and arms, as well as the waist and knees. Equipped with multiple 2D and 3D cameras, LiDAR, ultrasonic sensors, microphones, a tricycle chassis, and universal wheels, Cloud Ginger can also sing, move autonomously, and avoid obstacles. The graceful robot humanoid is 158 centimeters tall and weighs 65 kilograms. It has a rather attractive appearance, which made it the winner of the Chinese Red Star Design Award in 2020. The robot can listen, speak, and the possibilities are kind of endless for this type of humanoid, from education and care for the elderly to service in hotels, business centers, participation in advertising and promotions, public events, and entertainment shows. Unitree Robotics exhibited several Robopod models at once and opened the show with a grand dance show of 100 Go 1 dogs. The company also specializes in creating cloud-based systems and terminals for remote control smart robots, various programs and platforms for training, artificial intelligence development, and cloud security. We are a Hangzhou-based Unitree company. It's been about 6 years since we were founded. We have an extremely diverse product line. There are small, medium, and large dogs, and they all have different applications. Take the small dog for example. They're used for research, education, entertainment, and escorting. They can be guide dogs for the blind, or they can help take care of elderly people at home. Medium and large dogs are mainly used for patrols and inspections at petrochemical plants and power plants. Robots Go 1 went on sale publicly only a year ago, and the company has already been able to sell about 10,000 copies. It's worth mentioning that Unitree Robotics is so far the only Chinese manufacturer of robots that's received the European, North American, Japanese, and other quality conformity certificates. All the company's robots can be equipped with additional equipment, including a manipulator. An underwater bionic robot was demonstrated by China Aerospace Science and Industry Corporation. The GSY-3 underwater intelligence bionic robot developed by CASIC is mainly used to popularize scientific achievements. Presented at the exhibition, GSY-3 is made in the form of a spineless porpoise. There's two variations with lengths of 1.2 meters and 0.5 meters. On a single charge, these robots can work 8 and 4 hours respectively. Beijing Polytechnic University showed its developments including a bionic arm, a jumping robot dog, and an anthropomorphic robot, which, according to the creators, can run at a maximum speed of 7.3 kilometers per hour, jump at distances of 1.06 meters in length and 53 centimeters in height. Direct Drive brought to the exhibition its mobile two-wheeled robot Diablo on engines with direct drive. The Diablo combines the features of a traditional wheeled AGV and a multi-leg robot. Its legs can bend and straighten independently of each other. Due to its design, the robot weighing 23 kilograms can jump up to 8 centimeters, and the maximum height of jumping on the spot reaches 14 centimeters. It remains stable when overcoming obstacles with a height of 5 centimeters, and one leg can overcome obstacles with a height of 10 centimeters. Diablo is quiet enough and can be used for patrolling in all conditions by complementing it with a camera. It also has good impact characteristics, and no matter how hard the collision is, the robot will remain stable. The maximum payload of Diablo can reach 100 kilograms with bent legs and 4 kilograms with straightened out legs. Operating time without recharging is 4 hours, and the cost is $2,300. There were many industrial robots at the exhibition. Thus, Yaskawa Shaogang Robot presented an impressive new line for the production of automotive battery components that consisted of 7 industrial robots and performs 10 technological processes. The line is equipped with a production management system to collect, store, and monitor robot and production process data. Beijing Lens & Tech, a company specializing in manufacturing robots for emergency situations, unveiled its latest Scout robot to the general public for the first time during the WRC. The RXR C120 is resistant to high temperatures and can withstand 10 minutes in an environment with a temperature of 350 degrees Celsius. The robot is small and maneuverable, weighing 45 kilograms. It can move at speeds of 1.2 meters per second and work autonomously for 3 hours. When the fire brigade arrives at the scene of an emergency, it can first launch the RXR C120 into the building to inspect the fire scene, assess the damage and flames, and determine the vital signs of people located inside. It's also suitable for use in environments with toxic gases. The company was also the first company in the world to market the robot firefighter, which can withstand temperatures of 1,000 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes. The robot has currently been used for several years by the Chinese emergency services. Curious solutions for logistics and warehouses were shown by the company Meituan, which for 12 years managed to become one of the most advanced and technologically advanced Chinese companies in the service sector, specializing in the delivery of ready-made foods, products, flowers, and other goods. Meituan also provides services in marketing, IT, supply chain management, and finance. About 40 million people use the company's services every day. And at WRC, Meituan presented a smart sorting and delivery solution, including the company's independently developed next-generation unmanned delivery vehicle that has a payload capacity of 150 kilograms, 540-liter capacity, and the ability to cover 120 kilometers on city roads in a single charge. The company was first in China to organize regular delivery by autonomous robots, now operating in Beijing and Shenzhen. The unmanned couriers have covered a total of 1.5 million kilometers and already delivered 2.2 million orders in just 800 days. Also on display at the company's booth was a 3D sorting system that includes moving sorting rocks, a racking system with containers to distribute goods, and an operating platform. The system can work in set mode without interruption even in the presence of interference, and at the exhibition, children constantly interfered with its work, but the rhythm of movement was not disrupted. Another curious exhibit premiere was an intelligent platform with 2 manipulators from the Beijing company Realman, which develops ultralight robot manipulators. The robot presented at the exhibition is capable of performing tasks independently with one hand and 2 hands simultaneously, just like a human. The lower part of the platform is equipped with a mobile robot which can move around and avoid obstacles, and in addition, the robot is equipped with a voice module and deep vision technology, giving it voice interaction and visual perception capabilities. The Beijing-based company Robot++ has been manufacturing special-purpose intelligent robots since 2015, including bots for high-altitude work. At this year's WRC, they showed the Hitchmate V40, a disc robot for removing ship rust, equipped with an ultra-high-pressure water jet system to remove rust and clean the hull of the ship. The 135-kilogram unit generates 3,000 bar of water pressure and removes 40 to 50 square meters of rust per hour. The robot adapts well to curved surfaces and can be used for operations on more than 90% of the ship's hull. Medical technology was given increased attention at this year's WRC, with AI robotics showing several rehabilitation robots and an exoskeleton that helped Chinese Paralympians participate in the Olympic torch relay at the Games in March this year. Sun installed robotic tents to conduct PCR tests, which could be highly relevant in China, where the population is still regularly tested several times a week. But the technology is not yet perfected, and the testing procedure is rather slow. At its booth, Beijing Surgery Technology presented the Shiyue robotic single-port laparoscopy surgical system, which was the first in China to undergo a special testing procedure for innovative medical equipment in its category. The system consists of a unit with a control panel and a unit with a robotic arm and operating table. The operating surgeon is at the console and remotely controls a high-resolution electronic endoscope and surgical instruments. The system allows for minimally invasive operations on various internal organs of the abdomen and has already undergone successful clinical trials. There are many multi-port laparoscopy systems on the market right now. Usually you have to make 4 or 5 incisions in the abdominal wall to work with them. But for our Shiyue system, 1 is enough because it has its own patented serpentine surgical instrument technology. As far as we know, no single-port laparoscopic robot is on the market right now, so that's also our advantage. We now perform a lot of surgeries in urology, gynecology, and general surgery. A number of surgeons are very positive about our equipment. And what solution from the exhibition did you like most? Let us know in the comments. And while you're here, subscribe to the Pro Robot channel, like this video, and don't miss any new episodes from the world of high tech. The World Trade Center's 20 halls accommodated over 500 companies who brought their latest solutions and concepts, hoping to interest the government of the United Arab Emirates, which actively innovates in a variety of areas of life in their country. Dubai Metaverse's strategy foresees the creation of more than 40,000 new virtual jobs in the Emirate by 2030. Intelligent devices, unmanned vehicles, and mixed reality are how the Dubai and Emirati authorities see the near future. So, let's take a look at the best exhibits from the show. No robot show today is without Amica, which recently gained the ability to answer visitors' questions on their own without an operator hidden in the background. Amica is currently the most famous humanoid platform with realistic facial expressions and unique designs. Using the movements of the face, head, shoulders, and arms, the robot imitates human reactions. In Dubai, the robot shown not only part of Etisalat's cutting-edge exhibit, but also a new exhibit or collaborator at the Museum of the Future. At the stand of the digital telecommunications company Etisalat, among other things, there was a flying motorcycle from X-Turismo, the X-Turismo Limited Edition. In Dubai in general, there's a great interest in unmanned and flying vehicles. Negotiations with the Dubai police to create flying hoverbikes were led by a company with Russian roots called Hoversurf. Now a startup from Tokyo has hit the spotlight at GetX. Its X-Turismo is equipped with a standard engine and 4 additional battery-powered engines. The developers promise a 40-minute flight at speeds of up to 100 kilometers per hour. The biggest premiere at GetX Global was the presentation of the X2 flying car. It included a public takeoff, flight, and safe landing of the 5th-generation aeromobile from the Chinese company XPeng. Although prototypes have been around for ages, the actual commercial flying car is still quite elusive. And now, finally, the eVTOL X2 autonomous 2-seat electric vehicle marks a new era of short-haul flights and mobile solutions based on artificial intelligence. At least that's what the manufacturers are claiming. The X2 has a maximum takeoff weight of 760 kilograms and weighs 560 kilograms without passengers. It can reach a maximum speed of 130 kilometers per hour and offers a 35-minute flight time. Constructed from high-quality carbon fiber, the vehicle is equipped with a parachute for safety. Whether XPeng was able to secure a contract in Dubai to launch this airmobile is not yet known. The Japanese startup SkyDrive brought its prototype of an unmanned cab to the show. The company's been working on flying cars for several summers and's already demonstrated a brief flight of this prototype. It was previously announced that the startup will launch an air cab to transport visitors to the World Expo in Osaka in 2025. And recently it became known that SkyDrive has entered into an agreement with Suzuki Motor, which should help make this plan a reality. Since then, the concept design has changed a bit. We await the actual prototype and first flight videos of the vehicle. The stellar GetX 2021 was a concept car from Mercedes called Avatar. This year, the futuristic Cadillac Interspace autonomous electric car conquered the show with its design. The 2-seat vehicle focused on allowing passengers to completely disconnect and enjoy the ride without worrying about driving. For passenger comfort, not only the doors are lifted up, but also the roof of the car. The windshield is only a tribute to tradition, as half of it is covered by a huge curved display that shows media with its own software based on the operating system Multify from Linux. There's no familiar controls, they're not needed. Cadillac Interspace is only a concept as of now, but it's fully consistent with the concept of converting 25% of all transportation in Dubai to fully autonomous by 2030. And of course, the robotic cars of the future will need robotic charging. The idea has been wandering around for years now, and sooner or later it's bound to become a reality. Our prediction is within 3 years, but what do you think? Let us know in the comments. Also on display was a robotic microscope with BHS technology. A specially designed head display allows the surgeon to interact with the robotic arm on which the microscope is mounted to increase the accuracy and speed of complex surgeries. The robotic scope detects the surgeon's head movement and controls the robot's camera accordingly. In the front of the surgeon's eyes are 2 digital microdisplays that show a 3-dimensional image of the operating field in real time, while the robotic arm and camera head perform the corresponding movements with high precision. Other exhibits at the show include a giant 3D head from the General Office of Resident and Alien Affairs. It told visitors how biometrics would be used outside of airports and at border checkpoints. Specifically, biometrics could speed up financial transactions at all air, land, and seaports in Dubai. If the data is of high quality, it can also be used by other government and non-governmental organizations to better serve their customers, according to the head of the department. Another cool technology presented at GitX Global 2022 was the PillBot robotic tablet from Silicon Valley-based company EndiaTX. It allows you to perform an endoscopy in the comfort of your own home. Simply swallow the polycarbonate pill filled with water and call the doctor on Zoom. The pill passes through the gastrointestinal tract, splashes water in 6 different directions, and allows you and your doctor to watch a fascinating or not so fascinating video. If the doctor sees something that can be treated with pills, he can prescribe them on the spot. And if something more serious is found, you can go to the hospital for a follow-up. A mini robot developed by the Dubai Institute for Technological Innovation can follow people or explore spaces to find in case of accidents. It's designed for use in factories and warehouses. Promobot also featured at GitX 2022, bringing an unexpected solution called Robot Heads. Smart Heads are a separate ready-made solution. They can communicate with the audience, answer questions, and help employees from various organizations. According to the developers, proprietary technology and patented designs allow the robot to reproduce more than 600 variants of human micro-mimicry. To maintain the dialogue, the robots use their own dialogue platform, Promobot Nested Chat. It allows you to understand text and spoken language, extracting the necessary information and providing a native response. According to the creators of the robot, humanoid droids of Robo-C model are in great demand in the Middle East. Also on display was Robo-Sculptor, a continuation of the idea of a robotic masseur. Whereas earlier manipulators mostly worked with 1 or 2 body zones, and this robot can not only do a professional massage, but also make aesthetic corrections to the whole body. The developers claim lymphatic drainage, anti-cellulite effect, and therapy after exercise. The robotic arm with a roller is completed by a high-speed 3D scanner of the whole body, and the massage protocol is created by artificial intelligence. There were several unmanned vehicles at GitX, including the Cruise Origin. According to the Director General of the Dubai Roads and Transportation Authority, these robot cars will be deployed in limited numbers next year, and the number will increase over time. Another autonomous vehicle on display was the Taxi minibus. It will be used for the first time during the Etihad Airways Grand Prix Abu Dhabi in November. The bus will stop at 8 points on Yas Island and carry up to 7 passengers at a time. LED screens in the cabin show passengers a map of the route with stops and entertainment content. In 2023, the bus will be tested on Saadiyat Island in free mode. An impressive exhibit was the Thermite RS3 robot firefighter from How & How. The robot's powered by a 36.8 Yanmar engine and reaches speeds of up to 13 km per hour and has ranges of up to 500 meters. It can deliver water flows at 2,500 gallons per minute depending on the model. The robot can be controlled remotely from a safe distance, and the BellyPack controller provides high-definition video feedback for maximum maneuverability in challenging environments. There were several drones at GitX, but the most interesting solution was the Neo Octocopter from Flycam. The drone is produced by Ace Core Technologies in the Netherlands, and Flycam, in cooperation with radiation instrument manufacturers, develops reliable systems for the drone to help it carry a payload. The Neo in this configuration is already in use by a number of companies. A humanoid robot dressed as a construction worker was seen in one of the pavilions. It interacted with people, but most likely reading a pre-recorded program about the booth. The Swiss company Swiss Mile was rocking a robot at the show, but were unable to find any videos of its performance at GitX. Swiss Mile is a partner of Robotic Systems Lab of the Zurich University of Technology, and it's developing the animal robot. In the company's version, the robot can traverse the roughest terrains at speeds of up to 20 km per hour and balance on 2 legs in humanoid mode. The 4-legged robot can be used commercially for surveillance during large-scale building inspections or search and rescue operations. It can carry and deliver items up to 100 kilograms. The robot is also waterproof to a depth of 1 meter and has a battery life of up to 10 hours. At this time, this machine costs $200,000. The Dubai Electricity and Water Authority demonstrated its four-legged robot Wafek for checking and auditing stations and reading meters in remote areas. As you may have guessed, its Spot Boston Dynamics adapted to detect faults and checks the connection points of high-voltage cables. It can also be used to detect leaks in water pipes, patrol and safety surveillance, and to ensure consistency in construction work in hard-to-reach areas. Pepper robots, mobile service robots including PUD robotic waiters and service humanoid robots developed in Saudi Arabia were also not left out of the show. Subscribe to the Pro Robot channel, like this video, and don't miss any new episodes from the world of high tech. And if you want to be in the know about the latest news, join our community on the Pro Robots Instagram page. In Japan, there was an exhibition of food processing equipment and technology FUMA, and of course, there were robots. We consolidated for you a compilation of the most interesting solutions. For example, the robot Denso Kobata Wave, developed by the HE Institute of Technology, prepared a traditional dessert for visitors, the finest pancakes with stuffing. Working with plastic objects such as fabrics or thin dough, for robots this task can be very difficult. Too many things can go wrong, but at the exhibition, the bot definitely could handle it all. The only question that remains is whether the robot was run by itself or the operator behind the scenes. What do you think? Let us know in the comments. The cutter robot has also proven its ability to handle plastic products. He can skillfully grab and remove the core from lettuce bundles, trying not to damage the delicate leaves. Another Denso Wave robot selected and collected mushrooms. It's worth noting that mushroom farms constantly need employees, but to perform such tedious and painstaking work, robots fit as well as possible. And of course at the expo, there was always more fast food solutions. Robots can already easily cope with fries and wings, but the way that this humanoid robot measures the right amount of noodles, it's amazing. The traditional compressor company Miyakawa introduced its robot cook, who wielded a knife, but so far with imaginary products and in an isolated box. The robotic cooking inspired by the University of Leeds students to experiment on whether two robotic robots would be able to make a burger. But the interesting thing is not just that, but the control system of the two robots with manipulators for one person. The operator used the gamepad to control the walking robots and the wearable motion capture system to control the manipulation of the robot hands. The conference was a real parade of robots. The Boston Dynamics Spot demonstrated its nimble robot arm, capable of perfectly maintaining equilibrium and predetermined positioning in space. For a detailed overview of Boston Dynamics robots, see the link in the tooltip. The Animal robot has recently acquired the ability to not only drive and climb the stairs quickly on four wheels, but also take a vertical position and hold it by imitating humanoid robots. Ghost Robotics also brought its Vision 60 robot for the military. According to the company, the robot remains waterproof for half an hour. It's equipped with reversible engines and its movement is independent of the camera, so it can maintain balance in any situation without human operator commands. The robot can walk 9 kilometers in 3 hours on a single charge. It also claims that it uses components that you can buy ready-made. The robot can potentially be used for remote safety and routine patrol inspections. The company also brought to the exhibition its early research model, the Spirit 40. Unitree Technology brought the G01 Baby Companion and the B1 Industrial Grade Robot Special, featuring IP68 water resistance. Also at ICRA 2022, we couldn't identify this unidentified two-wheel robot. It looks like our old acquaintance robot Ascento from the same name startup, but differs in the design of the legs. Maybe you know who created it. Let us know down in the comments. There were also robots called ClearPath Robotics, modern multi-purpose mobile robotic platforms. And the Tia Go robot from PAL Robotics, which serves as a research platform, also hopes to become a useful assistant in hospitals and nursing homes in the future. During our visit to ICRA 2022 in humanoid robots, Digit by Agility Robotics was the first commercially available humanoid robot to master warehouses, but also positioned as a robot courier and robot helper. There was also a predecessor of the Digit robot, the two-legged Cassie, which is remarkable for stability and permeability. An interesting and new development was the anthropomorphic robot Gun Softhand from the Italian company QB Robotics. The gripper is based on mechological technology and can adapt to the shape of items it takes. The drive system is driven by tendons and equipped with a single motor that allows you to open and compress 5 fingers together, reproducing the first synergy of human hand movement. It's interesting that the robot arm is created specifically for industrial applications. Agile X Robotics brought its wheeled and crawler platforms to Pennsylvania, designed for indoor and outdoor travel on rugged terrain. The company's most handy robots can carry loads of up to 150 kilograms, and all but the warehouse tracer can also climb curbs and steps from 5 to 17 centimeters high, and climb, fully laden, on slopes up to 36 degrees, traversing shallow waters, ditches, and mud. Agile X Robotics are able to map terrain autonomously, navigate bypass obstacles, and plan their way. The company also produces an open-source educational robot and a platform with a clever learning manipulator that has 6 degrees of freedom. A group of cyber-physical system scientists from the Technical University of Munich presented provably a safe deep learning with reinforcement for robotic manipulation in the human environment. Although reinforcement training, or RL, is now the fastest and most promising method for robots, no known method yet guarantees the safety of highly dynamic obstacles such as humans. The lack of formal security guarantees prevents the use of RL for manipulators in real human environments, and therefore, researchers have developed a protection mechanism that ensures human safety, confirmed by ISO. The algorithm uses rapid analysis of the position of people and manipulators and forecasts their possible collisions to ensure that the manipulator stops completely before the person is within reach. The method can significantly expand the use of robots in real life by providing them with faster training with security guarantees. The Computing Robotics Laboratory of the Higher Technical School of Zurich introduced the Mixed Reality Control Interface at ICRA 2022, which allows operators to specify the target payload positions for multi-robot systems in real time, effectively protecting robots from failures. The problem was that while multi-robot systems have better stability and load-bearing capacity than a single machine, collective motion control can become a significant cognitive load for the operator. The researchers solved this problem by creating an intuitive remote control system that tracks and prevents deviations in robot operation. However, so far the system has been demonstrated on only one robot, the ABB Yumi. Scientists from the MIT Laboratory of Computer Science and Artificial Intelligence at MIT presented at the conference their research, which proposes to solve an incredibly difficult problem for the robot, namely, dressing a person. The thing is, working with an unpredictably shaped fabric for a robot is just as difficult as working with an unpredictable human being. Combining these two tasks for modern machines looks almost unbelievable. However, the researchers were able to train the robot using only 2 parameters as input: the force applied to the clothes and the approximate position of the elbow. Scientists use machine learning to store data using a special sensor suit. The robot compares the force applied to the clothing and the approximate area of the elbow, regardless of how the human arm is tilted or bent. The algorithm includes a dynamic model that predicts how the hand will move in the future, and each prediction is corrected by measuring the force acting on the tissue at a given point in time. Carnegie Mellon University researchers presented the results of their experiment at the conference. They'd previously gone on an ATV for a tour of rugged terrain including high grass, loose gravel, and mud. They aggressively controlled the ATV at speeds of up to 50 kilometers per hour from 7 types of sensory data, such as the speed of each wheel and the suspension position. The resulting dataset, called Tartan Drive, contained about 200,000 of these real interactions. Researchers believe that this data is the largest real-world multimodal off-road driving dataset in terms of both the number of interactions and the types of sensors. 5 hours worth of data can be useful for learning a self-driving car. And the engineers at the University of California in San Diego at ICRA presented a low-cost, low-energy technology that helps robots precisely lay their way in a room, even with poor lighting and no recognizable landmarks. The technology uses nearby Wi-Fi hotspot signals to track the robot's movement and help it determine where it's going. Tests show the accuracy of Wi-Fi signals for localization and mapping was at the same level as the camera and LiDAR previously used in most current robot models. The MIT Laboratory of Informatics and Artificial Intelligence, or EMITI, presented at the conference a robotic grip using new fingers gel sight fin ray, which, like a human hand, is flexible enough to manipulate objects. What distinguishes this work from others is that the grip is equipped with sensors that can exceed the sensitivity of human skin. The capture is universal because it can passively adapt to different forms and thus capture a variety of objects. Thanks to the camera with sensory components, robo-wallers will also assess the overall shape of the object, the texture of the surface, and the orientation in space, as well as the force applied to each finger. In a series of experiments, the gel sight sensor was able to discern even the convex inscription on the jar, distinguishing by a computer algorithm the thinner deformation level on the curved object. The Toyota Research Institute presented research results explaining why interactive perception and soft tactile sensors are crucial for manipulating complex objects such as liquids, cereals, or dough. Remember that the Institute developed universal home robots that will be able to help around the house and help take care of elderly people. Although robots now use universal grips for manipulation, Toyota's working on a soft end effector for the tactile robotic arm called Stretch. Soft optical tactile sensors allow robots to manipulate deformable objects, capturing important characteristics such as high-resolution contact geometry and object matching assessments. Also on ICRA 2022, Dyson presented their prototypes of home robots. Hello Robot told the conference about the importance of size and weight for home robots. Stretch's smart manipulator is today probably the most inexpensive, compact, and lightweight mobile manipulator for indoor work. The robot can perform many tasks. The main structure consists of a two-wheeled movable base with differential drives, a lift and telescopic boom configured to achieve motion at the end of the boom. Extensions to the design include a 1-degree freedom wrist to hold the tool, a dexterous wrist with 2 degrees of freedom to tilt and rotate the tool, and a compatible grip. Would you like a home assistant like this? Let us know in the comments. And hey, while you're here, subscribe to the Pro Robot channel, like this video, and don't miss any new episodes from the world of robotics and high tech. The Automatica 2022 Robotics Expo was held in the US, and here you could see what the world will be like in 2050. Food processing robots, basketball robots, robots in warehouses and cafes. The DLR Institute of Robotics and Mechatronics brought its humanoid robot Justin and Sarah robotic arm on a mobile platform to the show. But it was the new anthropomorphic robot David, which is expected to approach human capabilities in dynamics, dexterity, and endurance that attracted the most attention. The robot's about the height of an average adult, weighing only 26 kilograms and has 41 degrees of freedom and variable stiffness in all joints. It's driven by 76 brushless DC motors and has 165 position sensors. DLR's latest interesting development is a robotic chair for people with severe movement impairments, in which a robotic arm is integrated. It uses muscle signals to read from the surface of the skin and control the robotic limb, which is supposed to give its owners sufficient freedom and independence together with the chair. The robot is also endowed with its own knowledge of the world in order to anticipate human desires. And of course, the robot arm is completely safe for the owner and can manipulate all the same objects as the human hand. Also on display was the Garmy robot, designed as an assistant to the elderly. The robot should help in everyday life, for example with household chores. The robot will also come in handy for rehabilitation exercises and remote communication with doctors. The developers plan to equip Garmy with measuring devices such as ECG and ultrasound. Combined with the use of IoT sensors, the doctor has access to information through the robot that can help him act quickly in emergencies. Stoger Automation showcased its Spats robot at the show, which has several screwing and gripping tools built in. It's a complete assembly solution, even for miniature items such as collector car models. Also on display was a robotic inspection of an electric BMW i4. The Doosan cobots played drums, poured drinks, and even made hot noodles and immediately poured them into portions. And of course, there was also a robot cafe, this time presented by KUKA and its light and sensitive arms LBR IIWA. The team of ExoIQ brought to the exhibition a new exoskeleton, the S700, in which you can see the desired power or just turn it off when you don't need it. And all this at the touch of a button without having to remove the design. The young German company Neurorobotics showed its various applications of its cognitive robots. The company itself develops manipulators and creates software for them with elements of artificial intelligence. Touchless safe human detection technology and built-in sensors allow the bots to see, hear, understand, and even, as the developers say, sense humans and even think for themselves. Cobots can work in warehouses or auto repair shops, but the company sees them primarily as a versatile home helper. The robots can move even the smallest and most fragile objects. Kenon Robotics brought its service robots to the exhibition. The company's more than 30,000 robots are already working in more than 600 cities around the world, but are just about to conquer Europe. Equipped with a fully autonomous positioning and navigation system, as well as highly sensitive sensoring and obstacle avoidance technology, Kenon robots adapt to a variety of challenges in real-world scenarios. The robots are designed for restaurants and hotels. The bots know how to ride elevators and can deliver anything directly to your room at any time of day or night. Also on display were countless industrial robots that seem to have learned how to do just about anything. Find and manipulate objects of any weight or shape, perform all manufacturing tasks, work in medical labs, or just about anywhere. I like to think that in this high-tech future, there's still going to be a place for real humans. Rapid-fire autonomous turret for destroying drone swarms was presented at Euronaval 2022 Naval Exhibition in Paris. The novelty was presented by Nexter and Thales. In modern warfare, assets worth billions of dollars such as warships face cheap but deadly threats such as drones, floating mines, barraging munitions, and more. The Rapid Fire is designed to deal with these threats and is capable, according to the developers, of finding, capturing, and destroying threats both on land and on sea, all on its own. For fast fights, there's 140 rounds in the rack, which should be enough for about 30 interceptions. The turret can also be controlled remotely. It's equipped with a Thales high-precision optronic fire control system with multispectral sight and high-speed laser rangefinders. Rapid Fire can automatically select appropriate munitions for specific threats. Rapid Fire is scheduled for development next year and for maritime qualification aboard the French Navy replenishment tanker. And for land use, the system can be adapted to the Caesar Mk2 truck chassis and other platforms. Also on display at the show was the latest Blue Shark warship from the French company Naval Group. It's an above-water concept ship consisting of the main body and 2 floats. The design provides half the ship's resistance with maximum rollability and low acoustic signature. The creators promise that the Blue Shark will have a high combat performance, guaranteed readiness to go to sea, high radar stealth, and a fleet of unmanned vehicles on board. The ship is to incorporate some 20 advanced environmental technologies, from propulsion to energy management, including materials onboard waste treatment systems. The idea behind the Blue Shark is to combine the highest combat performance with environmental technologies. MBDA presented at Euronaval 2022 a solution for countering maritime drones. It relies on a number of sensors and effectors such as the Mistral 3 air defense missiles and the Acero ground-to-ground missiles. The system can effectively neutralize any form of threat, from UAVs to small unmanned surface ships. Being modular, scalable, and evolvable, the system can be tailored to specific customer requirements to effectively and appropriately meet specific complex operational scenarios. Rafael Advanced Defense Systems demonstrated its entire portfolio of integrated naval solutions at the show, including the Rafael Seabreaker. It's a high-precision, long-range autonomous naval strike anti-ship missile that allows for operator intervention at any stage. It uses an electro-optical homing system, computer vision, artificial intelligence, and decision-making technology with an ECM immunity. The Seabreaker delivers spot strikes from distances up to 300 kilometers against stationary and moving sea as well as land targets at high subsonic speeds. The theme of this year's World Conference was Intelligent Communication, the Infinite Multiverse. Because of strict measures to prevent a new round of pandemics, some of the participants were presented online or in the Metacomic-verse. Among the innovations were robots, brain-computer interfaces, augmented reality glasses, artificial intelligence chips, drones, and more. The conference was opened by virtual presenter Shen Xiaoya. There were many VR gadgets and technologies at the exhibition, including the entire spaces of meta-universes, where you could scan yourself in 3D with cameras and a special balloon and then customize your avatar according to a number of parameters. Would you like your own avatar like this? Let us know. SenseTime brought its robotic chess player to the exhibition. The bot was able to beat visitors at a game of Chinese chess. The robot masseur is now a must at every robot show. At WAIC, it was the Ryzen 4 robot arm from Shanghai-based startup Flexiv. The company also brought to the show a robot for automated testing of COVID-19. The smart arm performs the entire process, from swabbing with a cotton swab to placing a sample in a test tube. Equipped with visual recognition technology and highly flexible force sensors, the mechanical arm can locate the right point to swab people of different heights, while getting it safely and conveniently. The robot can test 240 people in just 2 hours. That's pretty fast, isn't it? So, there's a robotic surgeon. The robot joint surgery system for Microport Medbot was presented at Shanghai. And by the way, this Chinese company is the only manufacturer of surgical robots in the world covering 5 main specializations: laparoscopy, orthopedics, percutaneous, and panvascular surgery in a single orifice surgery. But that's not enough for the company. It has 8 more products in the pipeline, and in general, the robotic surgeons are one of the most in-demand areas right now. Also at the exhibition, we saw a firefighter robot from Deep Robotics, which recently presented its Yuing X20 robot. It cannot put a fire out, but according to the developers, it can go into smoke-filled buildings to explore the area, find people in need, or bring firefighters extra oxygen tanks and equipment. Interestingly, the company's website doesn't say anything about the fire resistance of the robot. All we know is that its housing has an industrial-grade IP66 protection, which allows the robot to work in conditions such as heavy rain, sand, low temperatures, and hail. The robot is equipped with a panoramic camera and dual-spectrum suspension that allows it to transmit real-time images from different angles. The robot also has a thermal imager to track heat sources. The robot can step over obstacles with a height of 20 centimeters and climb up a slide with an angle of up to 35 degrees. The exhibition was not without Cloud9's technology. A pair of humanoid robots from the company entertained visitors by imitating the actors of a Chinese opera. And this was probably the most remarkable robot performance at WAIC. Another robot from the Cloud Ginger XR1 series portrayed a hotel maid. It was a pity that the demonstration of the robot's work was only on screen and in the form of graphics. It still wasn't clear whether the robot would have been able to vacuum the show floor or not. The Chinese augmented reality glasses pioneer Nreal brought the latest Nreal Air and Nreal X to the show. The new Nreal Air is said to provide the best visual display effects of any extended reality device, but at the same time only weigh 80 grams, and that design is very cool. What do you think? The Nreal X is a consumer augmented reality goggle that weighs only 106 grams. They're designed to create a fully immersive augmented reality experience through a real-time precision positioning algorithm and map construction using a pair of built-in cameras. The Chinese already have no doubt that AR will become the next generation computing platform, and more such startups are appearing in the domestic market. In general, the Chinese are very fond of virtual reality, and the largest number of users for this type of technology will be the gamers. Also on display was a robot rescuer from Zhuhai Yungzhou Intelligent Technology, which recently saved a drowning boy. The robot is autonomous, equipped with high-precision positioning and video control. The robot can be used on beaches and rivers and will swim to a drowning person faster than a lifeguard can. Also at WAIC was JD Logistics' autonomous smart delivery trucks, which have been traveling the streets of China for a long time now. Once loaded, the Level 4 autonomous robots build a route taking into account all deliveries of the address and waits for customers at each point for a certain amount of time. Apple's Vice President and Managing Director of Apple Greater China, Yi Yui, spoke at the conference about Apple's machine learning projects. According to her, they can now cover almost all aspects of the company's operations, but only cited that the Apple Watch and AirPods Pro for examples so far. Another example given was the assistive touch feature with the Apple Watch, which the company introduced last year along with the iPad gaze tracking, which should support users with disability. Assistive Touch for watchOS allows users to control functions without touching the display or controls. The built-in motion sensors, such as gyroscope and accelerometers, along with other optical heart rate sensors and machine learning, help the smartwatch detect subtle differences in muscle movements and tendon activity, and, for example, move the cursor across the display through a series of hand gestures such as pinching or squeezing. An interesting statement was made by Baidu CEO Robin Li. At the conference, he said that fully autonomous vehicles will develop faster than semi-autonomous vehicles and will appear on the roads sooner than people expect. And it's not about the development of technology, but the definition of responsibility in case of an accident. In the case of a driver assistance system, such as Tesla's, all the blame for an accident will fall on the driver, since he's obliged to keep his eyes on the road. In the case of fully autonomous cars, the responsibility would fall on the developer. But with semi-autonomous cars of Level 3, everything is ambiguous. On the one hand, Level 3 assumes that the car can move independently and only sometimes requires a pilot's attention. But in this case, who will be responsible for the accident? Baidu believes that this contradiction will not allow semi-autonomous cars to develop. Li is worth listening to, given that Baidu has caused a fury in the autonomous vehicle market in China by obtaining the country's first commercial license to operate a fully unmanned robot cab. The company also recently unveiled the stunning Jidu branded Robo-1 unmanned robot car at the latest fully autonomous Apollo RT-6 with a removable steering wheel. Incidentally, Baidu's Apollo Go robotaxi has already taken more than 1 million trips. Ant Group, Alibaba's financial technology subsidiary, unveiled its intelligent risk management system to quickly detect and intervene in fraudulent digital transactions. One of the key features is the tiered mechanism is a 90-second alert call from the platform's AI assistant. The system can provide individual sensors by analyzing user feedback in real time during the call and complete the process if necessary. The point is that the 90-second pause should give the customer time to realize they're being scammed and cancel the transaction. Other anti-fraud innovations include a 15-minute recovery period and a 24-hour transfer delay. Shanghai company Visitai Technologies, which specializes in the development of high-performance general-purpose chips, presented its own 7nm cloud GPU at the conference. The chip combines features including rendering, artificial intelligence, video, and offers high-quality coding capabilities. The device provides optimal performance for cloud gaming, computing, and other metaverse application scenarios. Axera, another Shanghai-based chip company, has unveiled a technology you might say with an unpronounceable name called Axi-Nin-Zimhu. Well, you get it. It should help chips quickly improve large image quality, as well as breaking the ceiling of traditional video processing capabilities in a number of key scenarios. Other Chinese companies such as Enflame and Byron Technology also showed their new products. The latter introduced a recently released series of general-purpose graphics processor chips, which, as they say, are world-class in terms of processing power and energy efficiency. The semiconductor industry in China is now developing at an unprecedented rate, trying to close the gap with leading companies such as AMD and Nvidia. This is primarily due to sanctions imposed on China.
The Dialogue robot from Nagoya University. One of the highlights of every IROS conference is the competitions. This year's competition among the creators of Dialogue robots attracted a lot of attention. The winner was a team from Nagoya University which developed the most human-like conversational robot. Eco-friendly robots for environmental sensing, EMPA Robotics. The EMPA Robotics unveiled their own in-house designed environmental sensing and manufacturing robot at the conference. The team uses biodegradable materials in creating the machines and offers multimodal robots capable of sensing the environment, triggering in certain circumstances, and at the same time having minimal impact on the environment. Also, EMPA Robotics has similar robots for underwater work as well. Developers are exploring soft robots capable of adapting to unstructured real-world environments and aerial robots for maintenance and repair. The Scalar Climbing Robot from the University of California at Los Angeles. Developers at the University of California in LA have demonstrated the universal climbing robot Scalar from Romella Laboratories at the conference. This four-legged robot can climb rocky walls, protrusions, ceilings, and trot on the ground. Scalar is one of the first four-legged robots with a high degree of freedom to climb freely under the action of the Earth's gravity, and one of the most mechanically efficient quadrupeds on Earth. Where other modern climbers specialize in climbing, Scalar promises practical free climbing with payload and ground movement, making it versatile. The robot can move on the ground at 0.56 meters per second and climb walls at 0.35 meters per second. The payload reaches 233% of the Scalar's weight on the ground and 35% on a vertical wall. The Guardian Robot by Riken. Japanese research institute Riken presented the Guardian Robot project at IROS 2022. It aims to develop software as well as a central recognition and interaction mechanism for robots of various configurations. The ultimate goal of the project is to create a robot that can coexist with you in your home for years to come, supporting us when we need it and not disturbing us the rest of the time. Researchers call it the backstage support, or the Japanese word sarengenai, which can roughly be translated as random support. And by the way, what kind of support robot shape and appearance would you like to have in your home? Let us know down below. The VR-based Telepresence System DLR Institute for Robotics and Mechatronics. The Institute for Robotics and Mechatronics at the German Aerospace Center has demonstrated an unusual telepresence system, and its differences are not only in the fact that it uses a drone and manipulator as a robot, which can approach an object regardless of the surrounding landscape, but the key innovation is the fully onboard perception system, which creates a virtual reality of the robot's workplace in real time. And in doing so, the operator can not only sense objects using force feedback, but also receive three-dimensional visual feedback about the drone's environment. To make this happen, several sensors are used, namely LiDAR cameras and IMUs. They process the received sensor data. Algorithms are developed to estimate the shape of the object, drone position, active learning of the system, and more. And once all of this combines, it allows it to perform tasks at day or night, winter or summer, with a 70% guarantee of success. What do you think of this? Reflective Robotics CVSSP Robotics Lab and Surrey Institute of AI. The CVSSP Robotics Lab and Surrey Institute for Artificial Intelligence, both focused on intelligent perception for robots, spoke at the conference about their work. It's true that no specific results were presented, but the topic itself is interesting. Researchers are engaged in the development of a system that can not only see and hear, but understand the world around them, and also act on the basis of knowledge. Its specific example would be work in reflective robotics, with the goal of making the robots respond instinctively to humans. This would reduce the reaction speed of robots and make them much more useful for applications such as healthcare or tourism. It's a big and interesting problem, so we wish them success in their research. By the way, you'll find links to all the research from the issues, and you can find that in the description. ELKTVIO, University of Zurich and ETH Zurich. The Department of Neuroinformatics at the University of Zurich has unveiled a new position tracking system for planetary helicopters, like Ingenuity, only better. Today, event cameras are considered the best available sensors for vision-based exploration in future helicopter missions to Mars. But existing event-based visual inertial odometry algorithms either suffer from severe tracking errors or are unstable because they can't handle significant depth uncertainty. So, researchers from Zurich created ELKTVIO, a system that eliminates both limitations by combining a state-of-the-art external event-based interface with an internal filter-based interface. This makes it accurate and robust to uncertainties, outperforming existing algorithms on complex tests by a whopping 32%. You can find out more at the link in the description. Drone Adaptation on the Fly, University of Zurich and ETH Zurich. The Department of Neuroinformatics at the University of Zurich also presented another interesting work on the quadcopter movement, but it's on the ground. The researchers solved the problem of controlling a drone online when the environment changes or it encounters unknown disturbances. The problem is complicated due to the fact that creating time-optical trajectories that take into account the full dynamics of the quadcopter requires significant computational resources and, thus, time. The developers have presented a combined approach that combines trajectory generation methods with contour control and model prediction, so the drone can adapt to external changes quite literally on the fly. So far, the algorithm works reliably at 60 km per hour on a racetrack with moving gates and successfully adapts the drone's trajectory in strong winds of up to 68 km per hour. Robotic telecontrol with collision avoidance from Apptronic. Apptronic, a robotics company from the United States, presented effective VR control of humanoid robots' upper body with collision avoidance at IROS 2022. A bit of a problem is that when you control the robot, you walk the same way it does. But this information may not be enough to avoid sudden collisions with people near the robot. Apptronic's method is to reconfigure the off-the-shelf virtual reality ceiling trackers that allow you to enable collision self-prevention as a part of the inverse kinematics. This will allow the robot to not rely solely on an operator to avoid collisions. And again, more details in the description. Optimizing robot motion without splashing. Technical University, Munich. And the Technical University of Munich presented a development to optimize the trajectory of a robot without spitting liquids out of a glass. Although the first association with the robot is a bartender at Oktoberfest, in fact, the developers are trying for elderly care applications as well. It's interesting to point out, the developers drew inspiration from the 300-year-old tradition of carrying cups of tea in Morocco, where practicing superhuman high-speed movements allow it to not spill a single drop even when the glass is absolutely full. Autonomous navigation over unknown terrain. Robotic Systems Lab, ETH Zurich. Robotic Systems Labs of the ETH Zurich presented at the conference its algorithm for robots on their feet when navigating autonomously in an unknown environment. Ideally, a robot would sense and analyze the terrain around it, evaluating information on risk, energy consumption, and time required to cross that terrain. To avoid manual control or programming, engineers suggest gathering information about the robot's traversability and movement policy by simulating the traversal of randomly generated terrain using a physical simulator. Thousands of robots are simulated in parallel and controlled by the same locomotion policy used in reality to gain 57 years of real-world locomotion experience in just a few hours. The effectiveness of the proposed prediction network, as always, is demonstrated on the animal robot. Motion planning for reconfigurable bases from Robotic Systems Lab, ETH Zurich. Robotic Systems Lab also presented the system it developed to design and plan motion for reconfigurable robotic bases. The problem is that for real-world applications, a robotic platform must satisfy two conflicting requirements: to have a compact base for moving around cluttered rooms and a large enough base to prevent falls and toppling during rapid manipulation with heavy loads. You can see the engineer's design solution right here on the screen. Adapting to soil properties for an excavator from Robotic Systems Labs, ETH Zurich. The same lab also showed at the conference the achievements of its robotic excavator, which now knows how to adapt to its movements and power independently to the varying hardness of the rocks when excavating. Soil properties are difficult to predict and can vary even within a single scoop, requiring a controller that can adapt to the changes in real time. The goal of the study was to fill the bucket with soil without breaking the machine or stopping work, and the solution was reinforcement learning. Tumblebot Robot. Also seen at IROS was the Tumblebot hybrid bionic spherical robot. The millipede receives feedback from its growing tentacle legs and plans for further movement. As you may have guessed by now, the robot is designed to explore other planets. Speed Folding, the University of California at Berkeley and the Karlsruhe Institute of Technology. The IROS 2022 award for Best Publication went to Speed Folding's work teaching efficient bimanual clothing folding from the University of California at Berkeley and the Karlsruhe Institute of Technology. The researchers accelerated a process that is almost beyond capabilities of today's robots by using an intuitive approach. The idea is that the robot was first taught to straighten things so that they can take the shapes it understands and then use given instructions on the folding lines. In order for the robot to do anything, it had to be shown 4,300 examples of human actions, and believe me, 120 seconds to fold one piece of clothing is a huge achievement for a robot. Gesture to VEC, Simon Fraser University. Also on display was Simon Fraser University's cognitive robotics work. The Gesture to VEC system is a model that allows robots to self-generate natural and human-like gestures in dialogue with live humans. R-Care World, Emprise Lab. Emprise Lab presented the R-Care World simulation system, which also won an IROS 2022 award. The idea is to develop a simulation for training robots to care for elderly and disabled people. The simulation was created based on real data from research partners and provides many test tasks for robots under realistic conditions. Capture for Drones, Stanford University. The IROS Award for Best Paper on Robot Mechanisms and Design went to researchers from Stanford University, who developed a simple but fast and efficient drone gripper. The resulting grip is lightweight at 23 grams and closes in 12 milliseconds, and with it, a drone weighing 550 grams can capture a target weighing 85 grams at speeds ranging from 1 to almost 3 meters per second. Robot Artist Training, Seoul University, CAST and Naver Labs. The IROS Award for Best Entertainment Work went to developers from Seoul National University, CAST and Naver Labs. They jointly taught the robot how to draw through demonstrations, and that is, the machine relied not on simulated movements with estimation of the result, but on data from extensive collections of human demonstration. Which study did you like the best? Let us know in the comments. And while you're here, subscribe to the Pro Robot channel, like this video, and join us over on Instagram, where there's many more interesting things to come.